So, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, very good.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, cool.
So your name is Ilidio Zaj.
Ilidio Zaj, but I still need to correct it.
Okay,
It's not Zaj, but Zaj.
Zash,
Zaj.
Zash.
Yeah.
Okay, that's. I remember the first time we met. When you told me your name is Ilidio. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it took me a bit of time to keep saying it for me to remember it because a lot of people don't have that name. So it's almost like if you have it, you're the only person. You know, have you met another Ilidio ever since?
I think so far I met one.
Really?
Yeah,
Where here?
someone is old and outside of the country.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's a very unique name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not very common to a lot of families or to mothers.
It's an Angolan name, right?
No, I would say it's Portuguese, Italian.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the name comes from Italian.
Okay.
Um, yeah, names or
Yeah.
yeah
You don't know
language.
what it means.
For me, it means Ilidio.
Okay. Yeah. So I actually wanted to talk about the app. So you about to launch an app called Seduka.
Yep.
I think you were working on one before. So maybe there's a few things I actually wanted to talk about. So that's obviously the launching of the app.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about it, and also your journey into developing the app, and a lot of different things in between. Especially, I think we can start with the journey of coding because I
Yeah.
know creating apps, it's not something that's easy,
Mm.
especially because when I was in university, the first years we started off with generic subjects, then we started with the actual coding where we needed to develop applications and stuff. So you could see that even about 80% of the students find it to be a difficult thing to do, but you started with were you doing business,
Yeah.
so you
Business
never
administration.
went to a coding school. Yeah,
No.
how can you give us your how is your coding journey? What triggered you to start coding, and how has that journey been?
Um, I would say let me start from the current moment. It's still tough. It's not easy at all, but to go back and to draw my journey, um, basically what, okay, I could start it a long time ago,
Mm.
like let's say 6 years ago, but I was always procrastinating, and because it's not easy, as I said, I think I started first with PHP, if I'm not mistaken, PHP or Java. But coding, it's for nerds.
Yeah.
You look and it's more like I don't know what's the words that we used to always say. It's logics,
Yeah.
and the logic of code is different from many things in life. But once you understand, you realize that it's actually the logic of code is just the same. Like you put input, there is always an output. So when I start understanding those basics is when I also kind of discover Flutter, which is very user friendly for those that wants to learn coding or programming. So, and also the thing that actually drove me to start coding is because I knocked at the door of a lot of people to help me with the ideas that I always used to have for them to code and to make the app itself, but they were not actually interested to do it. So I just figured out, no, let me learn the hardest way, even if it's gonna take how many years. So I just did it. I learned, and now I started coding, I think 3 years ago. Yeah, this is the third year that I'm coding.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't go to school at all. I learned
Yeah.
by my own. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, especially if you, for example, you were doing business administration, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. If someone like
No,
you,
first I did networking,
networking.
like a
Okay.
short course of 1 or 2 years, something
Yeah,
like that.
but networking, that's like it has nothing to do with programming.
Nope.
It's like setting up
Yeah.
networks and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you, like you, let's say, how did it start? You have an idea, and then because there's a lot of coding languages out there. There's a lot of there's like if you want to start coding, there's web applications, there's phone apps, there's computer apps. So how did you go about it? Let's say you have you have the idea, and then how'd you go from there?
Okay. Yeah. Um, the first thing is I had already an idea of what I wanted to do, né? The app and what the app would like, what would be the functionality of the app. So in that case, it actually helped me to pick the language to program. And also, one of the characteristics that I was looking for is a hybrid language, that it's not only easy to learn or to execute, but it's also easy to deploy to or to launch into different platforms like iOS and
What's a
Android.
what's a hybrid language?
A hybrid language is okay. In my own definition, you guys can go and look for more accurate definition. A hybrid language is a language that you can code not only just for a native. It's not that a native language that you can only code for specific platform like Android. A hybrid is a language that allows you to code once, but for different platforms
Like
like both
Android,
Android
iOS.
and yeah,
Okay.
iOS. Yeah,
Okay. So you first get the idea, and then you look for uh, coding languages for specific platforms that you're trying to build. So if you want
yeah.
to make a phone app, you look for languages for phone apps, and then you start using it. What language did you decide to choose to start coding?
I really learned how to code when I chose Flutter. Yeah, I started coding with Flutter, which is it's a Google. Actually, it's Dart, but Google is the one that embrace more the Dart language, and then they create this platform which is called Flutter. Yeah, basically it transform the hybrid into kind of native language so that it can work in iOS and Android. Yeah, I choose Flutter because at the moment it was the one that came to me first. I know that was Ionic. There was the other ones for, I don't know. Ionic was is
Yeah.
for what, for Facebook?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, something like that. But I just choose, no, let me go for Flutter because I was used with Android Studio, and then I was also familiar with a little bit with when I choose Flutter. It was kind of I knew already a little bit how it looks on the, like the syntax and the variables, because it was almost similar to Java because I did a little bit of Java. And then I just said, no, let me go for Flutter, which is I can also use on Android Studio. I didn't want to switch to VS.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was easier for me to choose Flutter.
Yeah. So if we take, for instance, I know there's a lot of people that have ideas that they want to start launching their own apps and stuff like that, but a lot of them, what holds them back is the time it takes for you to create an app. The time it takes for you to learn the language, the time it takes for you to plan the whole thing. So that's why th- that's the one thing that holds people back. Either they try finding someone to develop it for them, and which can be quite expensive,
Yeah.
or they try learning, but then it's time consuming. How long do you think, if if you were a person that never coded before, and like you have an idea today, how would you go about, you know, how long do you think it would take you to learn and actually start coding?
Mm, all right. For me, it took, okay, for me, just to cover the basics in order, like just the basic, it took me around 6 months. But six
Mm,
months was first, I was just, the 3 months, I was just learning the basic stuff, variables and so on. But it was like non-sleeping. Like every day I was coding, and I was coding more than 6 hours per day. Yeah, there were days like during the weekend, I would even sleep very late. I would sleep like 5 a.m. and then I'll wake up like around 10 a.m. and then code again. And this I'm talking about during COVID. Yeah, during COVID, I was the time that I code the most. I think on average, I would say 3 to 6 months, but it needs to really be intense. And also, if you want to take shortcut, you should at least have an idea, like of something that you want to build. I think that is one of the things that made me to like learn how to code in that period of time, because some people they take them 1 year, more than 1 year, some even they give up and so on. But because I had that project in my mind that I wanted to express it in reality, so that's why I push it so hard that in 6 months I learned. And also within that 6 months I was already trying to build the app that was in my mind. So that's
yeah.
why I yeah.
Okay, 6 months. So I think this probably gives people perspective. So if you're deciding between you doing the app
Mm.
or you actually giving it to someone that knows already how to program for them to do the app for you, because I would think if you have an idea and you really want the thing to be launched as quickly as possible, you would probably consider, you know, giving it to
Given
someone
to
to do it.
someone, yeah.
But if you actually want to, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think are the benefits of you programming yourself or giving it to someone?
It depend. Okay, it depend from people to people. I think some, they actually wanted to really learn the process, like to learn what it takes to build let's say a tech company. So they prefer to learn it in the hard way than to give it to someone else to build it. So basically they want to learn the skill the skill to how, like how how to take an idea from a design, coding, and to a actual final product. Some people, they prefer to learn, like they know that after this project maybe they're gonna have more project in the future, so which means that they won't need to hire anymore. At least they learned already the skill.
Yeah.
But from other people, they consider is time for them is more important, because they want it to be launched as soon as possible. So it depends of like what is
Like
your
how quick?
value, like
Yeah.
how you consider, like you want the skill or you want to cut time.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah. So if you want the skill, it's better for you to start coding. But
yeah,
if you just want the thing to be out, you might consider
just
giving
hire
it to someone
someone.
to give it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you walk us through like what makes an idea a good idea? How do you go about selecting the idea? Because I know um, before you settle with one single idea, there's a
Mm,
lot of ideas you have, and what makes you decide,
a
okay, this is
lot.
the idea that you want to give your time, your sacrifice to. And can you give us like the app? What was your first app that you created? And before we talk about
Oh,
the one you're launching now.
okay. Yeah, so the first app was Slide Talk. The idea was to create the the future of audio, kind of social audio. Yeah, I even had this idea before a Clubhouse. Yeah, before Clubhouse was launched, I had already this idea, but it's still quite different from Clubhouse, but it's still in the same category, a social platform for people to share audio. But mine, there's also a little bit of more. There is more features that I had in mind that actually I'm still gonna launch it maybe late in the future. I'm gonna upgrade the app. Yeah, basically the idea was to create a platform where young people, can quickly share audio content with one another, and especially with with participation, like with collaboration with one another, like audio. Yeah, that was the basic idea, because I think audio, the thing that I had in mind is that audio is the quickest media for you to record or for you to create. You cannot even, let's forget about video or picture. Audio is just, you can just speak and you are shy free because there's no camera in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the basic idea. Yeah, yeah, I launched it. We had, I think, close to 100 downloads, 100 users. Yeah, so yeah, and then from until now, I gave up. I gave up the yeah, I gave up that idea for now, because I have other projects that are more aligned into the current situation that I am now. So yeah, that idea, yeah.
Yeah, that was your
I don't know.
first.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, no. I mean, when you say a social audio, like it's just like Instagram, or but because Instagram focuses on pictures, so
Yeah.
people post their pictures there, and then there's like you can have like a collage of pictures that you keep posting, and then people like, people share, whatever. But now with audio, how does it work? So they log in, and
Yeah.
it's like each user has their own profiles, and then they post pictures or they post audio clips of, and do people share those clips, or like what's the how does it look if I log onto the app, I create my account, and what do I see on my page?
Yeah. So basically, the audio, they are short. It's short audios. Let's say the maximum. The idea was to have a maximum of 1 minute, 1 minute audio, and also with a image. Like the audio basically was in, incorporated together already with the image, and you could see already the time. How do you call the timestamp?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, going forward. So basically, it's like the idea was that if you have something in mind, let's say for example, if you are a designer, you have this design, or you saw someone's design and you want to criticize. You don't want to make a video, or you don't want to write. You just take that image, you crop it, whatever, and then you record the audio, and then you post it. And then you can allow your friends or anyone to repost it with an audio. So that was the way that people can respond to that content.
I think it's cool because with social media, people are usually looking for different ways to interact with each other, and there's really not a short audio social media thing. I mean, there's podcast, but that's like really long form.
Yeah.
Like audios, I can see maybe like pictures, but maybe it would take a bit of deep thinking to understand like
Yeah.
what are the different aspects of it to work. Um, yeah, I wanted. Can you talk about the recent one that you're about to launch? I
Yo,
think this is the one that you spent a lot of actual time building.
this one is a bit exclusive,
Yeah.
but very soon it's gonna be also in the hand of the users. Yeah, the name is Seduka. This name actually uh, means seductive, something attractive. I believe that all human beings they are attractive. They are beautiful in different people's eyes.
Yeah,
So you know,
in different people's eyes.
yes,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah. So the idea was when I made a trip to South Africa, I was struggling a bit uh, to find places to cut my hair, like barbershop, like barbers and so on. And I didn't have anyone also to take me around like the neighborhood and to find a barber. So and then it's when I came with the idea that it might not only be this problem can it might on it might not only be with me, but it may also affect other people's. Because one thing that I learned with idea or startup is that sometimes we have idea, but it's not actually a real problem. But this one actually attracted me so much that I find out that it's really a real problem for many other people as well, not only for men but as well for women, and not only even when you are in a foreign country or in a place that you've never been before, but it actually happened. Like there's a lot of like us, a lot of women when they want to do their hair, most of the time the salons they're already full,
Yeah.
and they want to get their hair now done because they have a party, a wedding, and so on. And most of this time the salons they're very full. They can't accommodate any more clients. And yeah, it's when the idea came, I said, no, let me try to fix this problem. The idea didn't come just, oh, let me do this. No, it
Which is a
came actually
problem.
with a problem.
Yeah.
That's what actually attracted me so much to this startup or to this venture that I am now. Yeah, I think so far we we are already in the beta app. We developed so far into the beta app, and yeah, so we try with some few users, and we realize that now it's time like to go to like to reach more people so that it can have like a larger or a better experience, like in order for this kind of platform to work. Like by the way, it's a platform for women and men in different age to book an appointment from home professional that knows how to do hair, like to do hair care.
So basically, it's a platform where people that offer their services, like a barber or like a hairdresser, can log onto and sign up as a service render.
Yeah.
And then there's like the actual users like us that would actually, let's say, if you want to cut your hair, you book a schedule, and then you can see from the different types of barbers that you want to go to, and then you book it. And then does it track, like, is there scores per user? Is there like benefits the user gets for using the app, or benefits for, how does the service provider make their money, and how does the user, how does it work in terms of
Yeah,
yeah.
so basically it's very simple, the business model or the way that the service provider they're going to generate income. When the service provider or the hairstylist they post their service, on the platform. So they're gonna put the price. How much is this style? How much is that style? And also with the amount of hour that service required to be rendered. It's very simple. In the side of service provider, which is, I'll be always saying service provider, in the side of the hairstylist, they are gonna charge for the service that they're gonna offer.
Mm-hmm.
And in the side of the users, those that are looking for a hairstylist to do their hair, they are gonna pay for the service, and everything happen on the platform itself. Yeah, so they are the users, those that want a service from the service provider, and then they are the service provider that are
For
willing to
service to
offer a service. Yeah,
yeah.
so it's a
Okay. Almost
basic
like
model.
Uber for
Yes,
hairdressers and
Yangu
yeah,
for
something
hairdressers.
like
Yeah.
that. That's nice. What are the challenges that you've discovered so far in creating like a startup like this? Like, did you build a team? Like, what are the challenges that you've experienced in this journey so far?
I think the number one challenge, there are many challenges, but the number one challenge is to build a team. In order for you to build a team is also one thing that I realize is sometimes it relies on the idea itself. And also it relies on the magnitude of the problem, because it's not every problem that a lot of people are attracted to solve it. And like taking taking like from my previous experience, slight talk, I had like two co-founders with me, three. Yeah, I wanted to get more people involved, but I realized that even myself, I couldn't express myself clearly. And because I also couldn't understand how that platform would work. But now with Seduka, I what actually made me start was the problem. And I think like when you start from the problem, you have a better way of expressing yourself, because it's actually real things that happen with people. And then you can convince other people, because it's a common problem that they also face, and they will always will be willing to help you to find a way or to find solution to solve that problem. So the number one challenge that I would say, it's building a team. It's very, very tough. Like, as I say, starting from the idea, it's not all the idea that motivates people to join you. And the other one would be um, the right skill that you're looking for. Sometimes I always used to think that, especially at the beginning, you don't need people with specific skill. You actually need people that have the desire to solve that problem. Because when they have the desire, they'll learn anything to solve that problem. But someone that has the skill, sometimes, like I think in the past year I learned people from Google, whatever, all those engineers. Even you were very stubborn. You didn't want to join because
No, that's a different story. I think that the problem, the thing I've noticed with teams is because there's a lot of, how can I put this, like the incentives for people to join,
Mm,
like especially I found that getting people in a team is like how how are you going to incentivize their thing? So you can attract them by now, I'll there's a certain salary that you will give, that's usually what people do. But when you're starting off, you can't be paying people because
Mm,
you're not making money out of this thing.
yeah.
And also there's like the desire of the team should be fully directed to doing this.
Mm.
But I think the other thing is also the availability of those of
The
those
people,
people.
yeah.
So someone might be pushing a lot of different things, because a startup is something that you should put a lot of time
A
in
lot
it,
of
like
time,
a
yeah.
lot of time. It's not something you just do and jump back. And I think people that to not have time, even though they have the skill or whatever, that could also be like not a good, especially at different stages of
Of
the
the,
startup.
yeah, yeah.
At the starting phase of the startup, you want people that are fully committed, have time, and fully, with the
Yeah,
program.
because
Yeah,
it needs more attention
yeah,
in the beginning than any other
phase,
stage or
exactly,
phase of the startup. Yeah,
exactly.
that's why I say it's like at the beginning, like it's harder because it's like a baby, it's like a mother, or let's say it's like a mother that just is trying to raise a child, and especially for those that are new founders, it's actually harder because you are learning on the
While you're doing
while you're
in the
doing it.
process, yeah.
Yeah, and you don't know anything, you don't know what is next. So, and even recruiting, like on board people to join and to execute your vision, like those people, as we say, that they need to put more time on the early stage than when the company reach, like the startup reach like more than 1,000 users, or
Yeah.
when you have already market fit. So the most crucial time is at the beginning, because it can either start, it can be either a startup, or it can be an end start, an end up.
End up, yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
I mean,
something like
at
that.
least you got the lessons out of it, anyways. But
Yeah.
if you're planning on uh, actually launching the thing, you would want it to actually finish. Yeah. So, is there anything that you would want to leave the users with, like any advice, that you would like to leave them with?
I would say the application, first of all, we are we are not doing a, a app, or just to say app. It's an app. It's a platform that you guys can use, but we are changing lives of people. It's one thing that me and the team, we were thinking about that. We realized that braiding, it's it's a culture of Africans. Touching someone's head is a culture that our mothers, our sisters, they they used to do it out of love. They used to do it like to bond with friends and families. We realized that let's take this tradition that mothers, grandmothers, they used to pass from generation to generation, and let's help our sisters to make money out of it. Because most of the people that manage to open a saloon, yeah, most of the time they're coming from rich family, or they have stable family, and most of the owners, they are not the one actually running the saloon. They hire home skilled women to work in their saloon.
Mhm.
So what we thought is, let's change the industry. Let's give the power to these women that have the skill to be their own boss. Right now, of course, I'm talking about women. Right now, the platform, we are first like empowering women, like women that have the skills to do, like to braid, to do hair care, but we are also gonna extend it to the men side, to the men services, which is cutting hair and so on. But now we're just focusing first on women. The platform, the app is gonna be available by October. It's gonna be available first for Android, and then we're gonna launch also very soon for iOS. But for Android, it's gonna be available this month. Let's say in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Looking forward to using it.
Yep.
And
So the name is Seduka, by the way.
Seduka.
You can just search Seduka on Play Store. You're gonna find it. And also, if you want to get us on the website, is sedukaapp.com. Seduka app is Seduka, and you don't need to put, like, how can I say, Seduka and then double
dash
P.
or double P.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'll put the link in the description also, so it's
Yep.
easier for them to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for making the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
You are